Hey there, my name is Drew Brashler, and in this video, I want to show you how to save your monitor mixes on your Behringer WING. Now, if you're brand new to my channel, I'm all about helping you feel more confident with your production gear no matter where you're starting from. So let's go ahead and dive in. Now, on the Behringer WING, we are able to save our monitor mixes, and I want to show you how. Now, one little thing that I do need to mention is with these monitor mixes that we're going to be saving, if you change anything about the channel between the time that you've saved that monitor mix and the time that you've pulled that up. So if you've changed the input, if you've changed the gain, if you've changed the microphone, if you changed the EQ or the panning or anything like that of your mix, chances are it's going to not be perfectly mixed as far as the in-ears go for that musician. But it'll at least give you in the grand scheme of the starting point of where that in-ear mix was saved. So I wanted to mention that to you because if you maybe have a musician that plays every, like 4 weeks or so, and in between then there's changes that happen in between, on those different events that are happening throughout that time, then on that 4th week when that musician comes in and you load up their monitor mix, it's going to sound a little bit different because some gains have changed throughout that time. But with that being said, let's go ahead and actually see how we save this. I have my Behringer WING Compact here, and I'm just going to create an in-ear mix for my in-ear 1. So we wanted some drums in here, and they are playing the bass guitar. So we're going to put the bass nice and loud up there, get some bass amp in there, and get the rest of their in-ear mix set. Okay, so this is their mix that they want for their in-ears. Okay, that's great. So now that we have this monitor mix set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it as a snippet. So I'm going to hop back out of Sense on Fader mode here. I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to go to Snippets and I'm going to press Add Items. Now, once I hit Add Items, I am going to add all of the channels that I want saved in this in-ear mix. So I'm just going to select all of my channels on my board. And I am going to save the bus send for bus 1 for these channels. So I'm going to go into Sends, and I'm going to select bus 1, and I'm going to go ahead and press Close. Now, what this has done is this has added my channels 1 through 40, and if I had some aux channels that I wanted to add in here too, I could go ahead and add those as well. But this is saving just bus 1 settings for all of these channels. Once I have done that, I'm going to go ahead and press Save, and I'm going to call this Bass Player 1. And we'll go ahead and press Save. And so we can see that that's saved as a snippet here. Now let's go ahead and create a mix for our bus 2. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up bus 2, and this is actually our drummer. So he wants a lot of kick, good amount of snare, and a lot of overheads. Tom's kind of there, and he doesn't like hearing bass guitar, so we're going to go ahead and keep that nice and low, and then give him the rest of the mix. And classic drummer, he needs his click and cue turned up all the way. So we have this set on my in-ear 2. So let's go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all and confirm, and I'm going to add items. And so now I'm going to go through and grab my channels here. And when I get to my buses, for my send, I'm going to select bus 2. And I'm going to go ahead and press Close. I'm going to press Add. And so now we can save this for the drummer. So drummer 1. Okay, and so let's go ahead and pull up a different monitor mix for a second bassist. So I'm going to go back over to my mix for my bassist, and he really wants to have a lot of bass and a lot of kick, and no overheads, and no toms, and snare about there. So this is going to be my monitor mix for my second bassist that I have. So let's go ahead and save this. So I'm going to go ahead and clear all, and I'm going to go at Add Items, and I'm going to go and select all of my channels here. And I'm going to go to my Sends and select bus 1. Close, Add, and then we can go ahead and save this, and this is going to be Bass Player 2. save. Okay, so we have these two bass players and a drummer mix. So let's go ahead and go to my drummer mix, and I'm just going to zero out everything. Okay, and so let's go ahead and zero out everything. And so at this point, what I have is a blank mix for the drums. And let's go ahead and pull up and recall that drummer in-ear mix. So I'm going to go ahead and select my drummer 1, and I'm going to press load and confirm. So this has now just recalled all of my mix for my drummer. Now, let's go ahead and show this to you. And this is the beauty about Snippets, is that it only selected and saved those 336 parameters for those channels with that individual bus for my drummer 1. So if I pull up this drummer mix, and we can see that everything is zeroed here on both my bass and my drummer in-ear mix. So what I can do is I can go pull up my drummer 1, press load, confirm. It's going to load up just the bus settings for these channels for my in-ear 2, but my mix 1 is still zeroed out. And so at this point, now I can go pull up my bass player 1, load, and it has pulled up my first bass player settings. And remember, my bass player 2 wanted a whole lot of bass guitar and kick, and so we can go ahead and press load, and we can see that that's loaded that up, but still left my drummer mix alone. So snippets are a great way of increasing your workflow speed, of being able to know that, my bassist 1 is coming in for this week for service. I'm just going to go ahead and recall his settings. And then maybe we have a different drummer, so you can go ahead and pull up their drum mix before the band even arrives. And that way, when the band does arrive, their in-ears are fairly close to the way that they normally have it. Now, I hope this video was helpful for you today. If you do happen to have any questions, or there's a video that you're hoping that I would make, go ahead and pop that down in the comment section down below, as I'm always reading through those comments to find videos that are going to be helpful for you. If you haven't already, make sure to check out my website at drewbrashler.com, where I have a full set of effects and channel presets for the Behringer WING. So if you want to check those out, you can head over to drewbrashler.com, and you can see more info about that. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day.